Any for your thoughts?
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
Right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Jawa panel at virtual Dragoncon. Welcome to the Star Wars programming track. My name is Peggy Eisenhower. I am a member of the Georgia Garrison of the 501st. I've been a member for the past 9 years, and for the past 5 years or so, I have cosplayed as a Jawa. And Jawas are the most fun thing in the Star Wars universe, and I have an amazing group of a merry band of mischievous scavengers to tell you all about Jawas and to answer all of your Jawa questions, which of course you can't ask in person because this is recorded, but we're going to anticipate them and entertain you with some Jawa stories. Let me have everybody introduce themselves. Cressy, why don't you start?
Sure. My name is Cressy, and I have been a member of 501st and Rebel Legion in the Georgia Garrison for, I believe this is my 15th year. So it's been a long time. I cosplay Jawas, of course, but I also do Leia and Padme and some droids, Ali Sansan. Yeah, I just love all things Star Wars and Disney, and I love this little family of desert scavenger rats that that we know all love and know. But yeah, I've had a lot of fun sewing for the group and getting to know everyone, and it's a big family. We love it.
Cool. And you know, I hope if those of you that are in Atlanta for Dragoncon this weekend, I hope that you have a chance to see the Sandcrawler in the parade. Let me introduce you to Greg. Why don't you introduce yourself, Greg?
I am Greg Eisenhower. I've been a member of the Georgia Garrison for maybe 5+ years. I am a Tusken Raider and a Jawa, and I am also the driver and principal maintainer of our Sandcrawler. We will share a little bit more about the Sandcrawler later, but she takes up a fair amount of my time.
He does. Jen, our fearless leader.
Hi, I'm Jen. I'm from the Golden Gate Garrison. I've been a member for 4 years now, and I'm also the current Crate Clans attachment leader.
Say that 3 times fast. Shane, welcome.
Thank you very much, Peggy. My name's Shane. I'm from Ireland, and Peggy reached out to me quite a few months ago just to get a few international members in onto the Great Jawa Horde. So I'm part of the Ireland Garrison. I've had a Jawa cleared for almost 3 years now at this stage, who is both Rebel Legion and 501st approved, and I have many other costumes 501st related. You can see a few of them behind there: Shadow Trooper, Shadow Scout, TK, TIE, Palpatine. I hope I'm not forgetting any there. So that's kind of it.
Awesome. I think Jawa'ese is a universal language, right?
Totally.
We know Jawas everywhere. Stephen, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Stephen Eisenhower. I'm the Chess Jawa. I'm a member of the 501st. I've been approved for, I think, 3 or 4 years. I don't exactly remember. But I have Jawa, of course, and then also Darth Nihilus. I also play chess competitively, well, as should be evident. And I'm currently a student at the University of Chicago.
Awesome. And you know, I think one of the things that's nice is like Jawas, anybody can be a Jawa. I think there's a perception that you have to be small or you have to be young or whatever, and obviously everybody can be Jawas. You know, Cressy, you and this is true, Shane, for you too, right? You've got dozens of costumes. I mean, you have more 501st and Rebel Legion costumes than I can't even sometimes wrap my head around them. tell us a little bit about why the Jawa is your absolute favorite of those kids.
I love it. And kind of as what Shane mentioned, it's both approvable by the 501st and Rebel Legion. So it's like the Jawas are the best of both worlds. They span both legions. So you've got like double the friends automatically. But yeah, it's a great costume. It's easy. It's comfortable. Anyone and everyone can wear it. I mean, any shape or size can be a Jawa. There is no height requirement. I know when we first started off the Jawa Horde, some people were concerned, like, oh no, am I too tall to be a Jawa? Nonsense. Anyone can be a Jawa. Yes, I think our tallest one, Peggy, remind me, 6'5"?
6'5", 6'5", yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
anyone, any shape, any size can be a Jawa. So it's just a welcoming community, and it's an easy, comfy costume. I don't know if you can hear, but I've got fans running in my helmet. So that's really helpful when in 90-degree heat in Atlanta. But yeah, it's just it's a great, easy costume, easy to put on. You really don't need a handler to get this on. So it's really easy to kind of just throw on and troop. And the best part is kids love it. You're recognized. You get to steal things, mainly droid parts. But yeah, we just, I mean, it's just a fun character to portray. And I can't tell you how many times kids will come up and say, "Oh, Teeny," and it's just the best. It's the best.
Totally agree.
It's your favorite too, right, Shane, of all the ones you have?
I have to admit it is. I have some absolutely epic costumes that I love, and I get great pleasure out of doing whichever costume I have. But by far, the most fun you can have has to be a Jawa. There's no doubt about it. And it's what I like about this is, as a single Jawa going by yourself to an event, it's brilliant. But add 4, 5, 6, or 7 Jawas with you, and it becomes simply hilarious. The antics that we can get up to. Now, in the Ireland garrison here, we've only 55 members. We're quite a small garrison compared to others across the world. But in that garrison, we have 6 Jawas, and we have 3 more on the way in process. Coupled with that, we have 2 Galactic Academy Jawas to go with us as well. And my son, although he's 14, his costume fits me and my costume fits him. So I built it that way so that he could grow into it. So it's brilliant. But having a group of 6, 7, 8, 9 Jawas going around, especially at something like a con where people really understand and appreciate it more so, it's the videos that we've got and put up on our social media have just gone crazy. Jawas stealing cash registers, all this type of fun, you know. It's just brilliant. I love it.
So in Georgia, the Georgia garrison is much bigger than the Ireland garrison. We've got about 360 members, I think, but we've got 130 some odd Jawas approved, not including the Galactic Academy or the few that are a Rebel Legion only. So pretty much in Georgia, there's always a herd of Jawas running around getting into stuff, which is, I think, very fun. Very fun. So if you've got 100 Jawas or more, what you need is a Sandcrawler. And thanks to Greg, we have one of those in Georgia. I'm going to try and share a picture of it, if I can. And Greg, why don't you tell us a little bit about Sandy? And
so Sandy was a project that we started, 3 years ago now. And essentially, Peggy bought a bus. She bought a airport-style shuttle bus, one that was quite old, in terrible shape. She'd been setting out in a field somewhere for a long time and was leaky. So the inside was rotted. People had taken out most of the seats and installed some extra shelving inside for some commercial purpose, cut a hole in the back of her. So she wasn't good for much anymore, and we got her cheap. and she ended up being the perfect thing to turn into a sandcrawler. I had we had a core build team that helped do this, including Jesse Fannin, our welder, Danny Kurtz, a mechanic, and Gator Roberts, Jeremy, who was also a mechanic and did most of the artwork on the Sandcrawler. There is an actual bus under there with the usual, and she's street ready when she doesn't have all the stuff attached to her. But holding up those plastic panels to give her the iconic Sandcrawler shape is about 1,000 pounds worth of structural steel. And that's about 2,000 pounds worth of plastic sheeting. Most of that stuff comes off for travel and is actually stored inside the bus. So we're street legal going places, but it takes a team of, say, 5 or 6 people, about an hour and a half to put it together once we get somewhere. We travel with 2 10-foot tall double-sided step ladders and a variety of tools. And it's, trooping with Sandy is easy once you get her assembled. And then, of course, once you're done trooping, you've got to take her apart and put her all back inside and drive her home. We do have a place to park a bus. Our garage door is 10 feet wide. Sandy is 9'6", not counting the mirrors. So she's a little bit of a traumatic parking job. But other than that, she's a lot of fun.
And Cressy, you have been instrumental as one of our pit crew, our build team.
I love it. No matter the weather, rain, snow, sleet, or shine, we are building that. Sandy will be built, and we will get her in the parade. Nothing has stopped us yet. Pouring down rain won't stop us at all. But yeah, it's fun, and it's a workout too. I mean, it's you're lifting steel parts, you're screwing in small things, and yeah, it's fun. But I mean, that's what Jawas do. So.
Yeah, those panels are 30 to 40 pounds a piece, and you can get them up by yourself, but really it's a lot safer to have 2. And the double-sided ladders, we just go up holding panels and screw them in place, and take some time. People, two crews, 1 on each side of the bus, and we can get it done.
Greg, is it easier for the Jawas to take it apart?
Yes, that goes more quickly. And we've managed, nobody's walked away with anything yet.
It's amazing, Shane, taking it apart. Usually we're taking it apart and there's a lunch that we're supposed to be at. And, we have to get it down before the buffet closes at the restaurant.
I mean, Jawa priorities now.
It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. And Stephen is actually the Jawa that gets to do the Sandcrawler the least, because our big troop is Dragoncon, and Saturday morning at Dragoncon, instead of the parade, Stephen is off playing chess. Stephen, you've raised an amazing amount for charity. I think we concluded that you were well over $10,000 that you've raised as playing chess as the Jawa over the past few years. Talk a little bit about, amen. Talk a little bit about Chess Jawa, Stephen. How did that happen, and where can people find you this weekend to play you?
All right, so people can find me on the lobby floor of the Marriott in front of the Starbucks. I typically play there. I don't ever really have a set schedule just because of how hectic things can be at the con, but it will be tweeted out on the Chess Jawa Twitter, and I believe sent through Star Wars at Dragoncon as well. And I try and play, I usually play 8 hours a day or so. So I try and get there as early as I can in the morning, and I'll take a lunch break and, just play as long as I can. As for how I got started, so I've been going to Dragoncon for a really long time, and Daniel, my older brother, is very invested in the Star Wars panel. And after, I think, 3 years of going to just every single panel, every single Star Wars panel, just sitting in that room all day. I was a little bit tired because I am obviously very invested in Star Wars, but you know, maybe I wanted to do something else with my con. And I had been playing chess for about as long as I'd been going to Dragoncon. So I started playing chess when I was 10. And so we decided that I was going to see if there was places where I could play chess games. And at that point, I had a Jawa costume. It wasn't approvable because I was 12 or 13 at the time, and you can't get approved into the 501st that young. So I was just, you know, it was at least relatively close to approvable. But so I just, you know, started walking around in my Jawa costume, and I had a chess set, and that was when there was still furniture in the Marriott. So we sat down at some of the tables that were there, set up the chessboard and played. The first DragonCon I didn't play with my mask on because it's very hard to see the pieces, and I wasn't really that good at chess at the time. So I just kind of sat down and played. I didn't play very many games, but someone gave me money for unclear reasons, but they did. So we decided that, you know, okay, well, I don't know what to do with this money, so we just put it in the tip box for the official Dragoncon charity. I don't remember what it was that year. And ever since then, we've, you know, gone and done that with, you know, more and more kind of structure every year, figuring out ways to do it better, how we can, you know, how I can be there playing more, adding, for example, more fans to the costume. You know, now we bring our own tables and things like that. And every year, all of the money goes to the official Dragoncon charity. I believe last year I raised $2,500 or something when it was virtual. And this year, the money is going to the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Metro Atlanta, which is the current Dragoncon charity for the year.
Stephen, I think I've got some pictures of you playing. Let's see if we can, if I can share that. And it's got the information on how Stephen can take donations virtually. So if anybody wants to make a donation, there's the information. And those are some pictures from 2019. That would have been the last year that you were live. Stephen, you've got a patch there. The patch there is your personal patch, right? And what do people have to do to get a virtual patch, to get a physical patch?
So if you play against me, you get one of the stickers. They're kind of hard to see in this picture, but if you look next to the Twi'lek in the big picture, there's little stickers there that have that say, you know, I play chess with the Jawa. And so if you play a game, you get those. If you beat me in the game, however, you get one of the patches. Since I will typically lose either 0 or 1 games a year. It's rare that I lose more than that now. I used to lose more. So we also typically give the patches to kids that play because we want to encourage them to continue playing chess. But anyone that plays gets a sticker. If you win, you get a patch.
We have a lot of patches, but we don't give very many of them away. So just so you have it. I think the charitable stuff, you know, I never really would have imagined being, you know, cosplaying with the 501st at, you know, I mean, I'm 57 years old and I'm marching around in the white plastic space armor. But the charitable stuff is just so amazing. It really makes, it's really what I think this group is about. Jen, you know, you're the Clan Crate detachment leader.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about Clan Crate and you know what it's like trying to herd all of us rodents. It's not just rodents, but I'm sure we're your favorite part, right?
We're the semi-sentient rodents.
We're the semi-sentient.
So the Crate Clan detachment covers Jawas, Tuskens, Gamorreans, and several other neutral-based characters. We actually right now have been approved to build CRLs for a couple of new interesting ones from the Bad Batch, from the Mandalorian. So that's going to be fun to see when they come out. And it's actually a lot of fun. It was hard when COVID first started because that's when I took over in February of 2020. And then not even a month later, lockdown started happening. So my staff and I, we were pretty much manning the Facebook, social media, reaching out to members. And then my XO Goldie said, hey, you got to see this group. And it was the first time I'd ever heard of you guys. And so once I joined the group and I started telling everybody, hey, you guys need to check these guys out. They are amazing. Look at their Sandcrawler. I tried to buy a bus. My husband told me no.
Old husband.
You know, I'm like, look. But it's actually been really fun. I've met a lot of Jawas from around the world, between Zooms and Facebooks. It's been a joy, honestly. It's probably been my favorite thing since joining the 501st.
It is very cool. And I think that, this group really, and that's how we met Shane as well. I mean, this group really, we went from being a local group, a large group of Jawas, but local to Atlanta. And then after COVID, we realized, we can't troop with each other in person. If we're going to troop on Zoom, if we're going to get together on Zoom, there's no reason why we can't get together with everybody on Zoom, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
just reach out. And so I reached out to basically those garrisons that had a Jawa in leadership, because they tended to be the ones that I could get an email for pretty easily, and said, hey, let's hang out. And it has been really nice. I don't know, we've got to find a way to get everybody together. I think one of the things that the Legion has really done, and that you personally have really done, Jen, is just trying to keep up with, everybody during lockdown and make sure everybody stays connected, either by Zoom or whatever. I can remember, Jen, you were worried about people being alone over Christmas last year. And what did we do? We did a Zoom marathon. We did basically Zoom calls all day, so that wherever you were in the world, you could join a Zoom with us, and we'd wish you Merry Christmas. And the thing that impressed me most is I have never seen anyone consume the amount of coffee that you consumed over that 24-hour period. It was amazing.
Jawas love coffee. That's why Chess Jawa is right in front of Starbucks each year.
So the way we had set up the Christmas Zoom, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get, I'll get a little bit of sleep in between. Well, the first Zoom started at like 9 p.m. my time. I'm over on the West Coast. And as I'm getting ready to get off, all of a sudden, all the Australians started getting on.
Yeah.
And then Singapore, Hong Kong. And so I'm like, okay, by the time I got off, there was maybe an hour in between. And I'm like, there's no way I'm going to get any sleep. So I went and got more coffee, made more coffee, and just powered through it. And then by the time I got off the second Zoom, my kids were awake. So opening up Christmas presents and everything. And by the time that was done eating, it was time for the next Zoom. So I'm like, well, here comes some more coffee. How do I put this? I didn't mind not getting any sleep and consuming that much coffee, because there were several people afterwards who were like, I'm so thankful you guys did this. And I'm like, hold on, don't thank me. It was all Peggy's idea. I just said, I'm down.
I think it was your idea. I just, as with most things, I think it was your idea. And I just said, well, let's do it 100 times bigger than you might have ever imagined. I mean, go big.
And I'm stocking up for this year. I have maple Canadian coffee in my closet.
Oh, there you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. So talk a little bit, Jen, about what one would have to do to join the Legion. Like, if you don't have a Jawa, but was that the cat? Um,
No, it was a laugh cat. Yeah.
if you don't have a Jawa, but you wanted to have a Jawa, talk a little bit about what the process was, and then maybe Cressy, you can talk a little bit about that as well.
So one of the first things I suggest is reach out to not only your local garrison, but go on the Crate Clan detachment forums, crateclan.net, and introduce yourself. Look around the forums, talk to your garrison, see when they're trooping, and talk to people first. Make sure that being a Jawa is what you want to do. And then from there, find the patterns or reach out to somebody who does commissions. Or if your garrison is doing an armor party, go there, get help. And once you start reaching out, there are so many people who are like, hey, I know how to do this, or I know how to do that, or here's where you get fabric. And that way, you're not doing it alone. You don't have to feel so alone. You've got a whole group in case you make a mistake or you've got questions or you're unsure about anything.
I agree, Jen. I agree. Yeah, we've got a great resource with the Great Clan, and we also have a great resource on the Great Jawa Horde. This is where we put all of our information when we were doing our original build plan, which was 100 Jawa robes, 100 Jawas to be approved by the 501st. And we learned a lot that first build. Peggy is our original Jawa mama. She was the one who kind of helped organize us, and we developed a great resource online. It's greatjawahorde.org, and we can show you.
.com.
Greatjawahorde.com. But we've got some great build. We don't really have a pattern, but we have a way to do it where it fits everybody, and we have kind of a guideline, a procedure kind of thing, what we do. But yeah, the fabric is monk's cloth. It's very easy to find. Everything everything for this build is easily found, I would say. Thank you, internet. But yeah, we've done all the work. We've got all the resources online, and fabric. And I will give you, here is the monk's cloth, the main robe, with some weathering. I'll give everyone a tip who's dealing with this fabric. It frays quite easily. So the thing we do to keep it from fraying in places we don't want it to fray is we use a zigzag stitch. So that's one of the things you'll need to build a Jawa robe if you're doing it yourself, is a machine with a zigzag stitch. So the machines behind me, the old-fashioned straight stitch machines, the vintage machines, won't do it. You need a zigzag sewing machine. So, but yeah, it's pretty easy. You will need a piece of black material for the inside of the hood, but everything's easily attainable, and all the resources are online, and we're always happy to help. We've done quite a few, I don't know, hundreds of robes. So everyone in the clan and the horde can help, and that's what we're here for, and we're happy to, because we really want more Jawas. There can never be enough Jawas.
Totally agree.
Yeah, and I think here, like if you're in the Atlanta area in Georgia, you can join the Georgia Garrison as a cadet and be able to access some of the resources, and we do have regular armor parties here. I assume, Shane, in Ireland or kind of in Europe, your garrisons have that same kind of people come in as a cadet and
people
work?
would join our forums and they come in as crew members, or I think in the States you call them, is it wranglers?
Handlers.
Okay. People would often come in then and they join the forums, and we ask them, what costume would you like to build, just for them to go and do the research to find out what would be the best to suit them, rather than so their first build, they will be happy with it and love it. So normally what happens is, I want to be a stormtrooper, so that's fine, we point them in that direction. But eventually there hadn't been a Jawa in the Ireland garrison for a while, and I got this idea to build one. So I did. And then a friend of mine, Gary, came along, and there was the two of us. We were the Jawas. Then every year we go down to Port McGee, which is where there's a small little village down in Kerry in Ireland, where the crew would have stayed when they were going out onto Skellig Michael for Acto in the movies.
Nice.
And there is a festival down there every year. It's a Star Wars festival. Unfortunately, this year was virtual. There was none last year due to COVID. Thank you very much. But we'll be back next year with a bang. And when I was there in 2019 and 2018, I had my Jawa with me. And what you tend to do, it's you kind of I have this costume on. Here, put on my Jawa. Try it on. See what you think of it. And then they go off and they try it on for an hour or two. 3 people have since, the 3 people that I gave that costume to now have Jawas. So it's whether you'd see me as maybe a drug dealer handing out, and all of a sudden they're all feeling they all wanted. I don't know, but they all tried on and experienced what it's like to be a Jawa. Understood then when I was explaining to them how much fun this costume is, and they all said, "I want one," and they've all gone and got one, which is brilliant. It's probably by far one of the cheapest costumes you can build. So for someone maybe starting off, not sure what to do, maybe not having a huge amount of cash, the Jawa is a great way to start. And you can't go wrong with it. It's just so much fun. You get to steal people's phones. You go up to people at a con and they take a photograph, and you say, "Show me the picture," you gesture and you take the phone and you look at it and you nod, and then you put it under your arm and you walk away. And they all burst out laughing, think this is brilliant. So you give it a minute or two, and then you come back and you say, "What do you want? Do you want to buy the phone?" So we were trading the phone for something else. So it's just too much fun. Like, why would anyone not want to be a Jawa?
I think yeah, go ahead.
I have gloves that have pads on them.
Yeah.
So I can take selfies.
Ooh.
Nice.
I'll motion for the phone, and I'll pretend to start looking, and I'll change it, and I'll start taking selfies. You eventually, you hand the phone back, they walk away, and sit and listen. The Jawa took selfies on my phone.
That's pretty funny.
The costume is easy to build, particularly for groups. I mean, when we did the Great Jawa Horde, Peggy dyed a mile of monk's cloth, and we got teams together to essentially mass produce the masks. And a lot of the stuff, if you buy the parts individually and have to pay shipping for just one or a couple of LEDs or something, it can be kind of pricey. But for putting together 40 or 50 costumes, you can easily do that for less than $100 a piece.
Brilliant.
Yeah, the economies of scale are really nice if you build a bunch of them.
The other thing I like about the Jawa is I have medical disabilities. I lose feeling in my legs. So there are a lot of times where all I can do is sit. And with the Jawa, it makes it so much easier. I can still fully suit up. I get a chair, especially at cons, and I sit behind the table for my garrison. Yep. And I'm still participating. I'm still trooping. People are still able to come take pictures with me. And I don't feel like I'm missing out. I've seen people with Jawas, and they have mobility devices, and they're able to decorate them in the Star Wars theme, and it still matches perfectly.
One of the nice things about the Sandcrawler is that it gives us the ability to have mobility limited Jawas in parades with us.
Yes.
Because they can be in the Sandcrawler and they can wave out the window. And that's really nice. And of course, Stephen, you're spending your whole time in your Jawa sitting down because you're playing chess. which it's an advantage that you could sit down, but you don't have that great of visibility. How have you dealt with some of those challenges?
Yeah, I mean, so being able to sit obviously is a huge advantage over things like the TK armor, but like you can also, like, because of the way the robes are, is Jen mentioned this, you can either decorate things, or like I have hid a lot of fans in those robes. Because, you know, if I'm sitting down, you know, okay, well, I'm not going to be mobile, but I usually have one of the like inflation devices for an air mattress strapped to my leg, because it moves a lot of air, and that's really nice if you're, you know, sitting in a hotel during Atlanta summers. And it just, the costume allows for a lot of kind of customizability in things like that, because, you know, the robes are loose, that, you know, you can hide things under them. The way our masks are designed, there's room for two. I think my mask might have 3 fans at this point. You know, there's just lots of things that you can customize them in ways that other costumes really can't, because you're maybe limited by the size of the armor if you're wearing armor, or the way the robes have to fall if you're wearing robes that are maybe tighter.
And speaking of flowy robes, we also dance in them. We have a Jawa dance clan, and we learn the routines, and we have several dances that we've learned now. We've got a holiday dance, we've got a baby shark dance, we're maybe learning Thriller in the future. We are, and we've got a Hamilton dance. We love dancing, and it makes it, I mean, there are very few Star Wars, I'd say, costumes that you can easily dance in, and Jawa's is definitely one. And we've done it in parades, we've done it at Dragoncon, but yeah, it's really fun. So if you're interested, we usually get together before Dragoncon and learn a new routine. So be on the lookout for that if you have a Jawa kit, and yeah, come dance with us. We also sing too. We've got some very talented Jawas in the family.
And there are videos on the Great Jawa Horde website. So
I was
go
going to
check
say,
us out.
at greatjawahorde.com, we do have videos of the dance clan, and it is, you know, we joke that if you want to be in the dance clan, it just really only requires 2 things. You have to have an approved Jawa, either 501st Rebel Legion, Saber Guild, or Galactic Academy, and you have to have an irrational lack of fear of heat stroke,
Yes.
because you are dancing in, you know, basically a blanket in Atlanta in the summer. So if you're not afraid of dying, then this is for you, right? This is for you. But we do have the Sandcrawler, so we can always evacuate.
That's right. The Sandcrawler is air conditioned a little bit. That kind of works, but it does have an AC inverter, so that we've got a really kick-ass sound system. For the last in-person DragonCon, we actually converted it into a Sandcrawler ice cream truck. We had Wampa Whip, and all our Jawas had fake ice cream props that they were dancing with.
Nice.
It was very cool, although the ice cream music does get annoying after an hour or so.
Let's be clear. It was annoying before that parade even started.
Sorry, my loft cat came by again.
I love it. One of my favorite stories with the dance clan and Jawas in the parade was definitely, I think it was the holiday parade for Children's Healthcare of Atlanta in 2019, where we actually made the dance clan some special robes. We used the same pattern, but used red dye instead of brown dye on our robes. And
they were gorgeous.
They were great, and we trimmed them with fur, and it was very Christmassy, holiday like. We danced with candy cane, so we kind of did like a little old school, and we danced to What Christmas Means to Me. It was really, really cute routine, and what we did not plan on was the rain during the parade. And so when our robes got wet, there was a little bit of dye. I would say a lot of dye.
No.
They bled like something out of Psycho.
I mean,
Right,
yeah,
I
it was
mean-
like the movie Carrie. Yeah, yeah. When they
Yay.
took off my robes, it was like, and it dyed your skin, and we were all red, but it was worth it. But the funniest thing was immediately behind us in the parade order was this gorgeous kennel club of Great Pyrenees dogs, and they were gorgeous white at the beginning of the parade.
Oh no!
They were behind us in the
Red feet.
puddle of red dye we left. They were pink at the end. So we dyed the dogs pink.
That group has officially requested not to be behind us in parade.
It was fun. It was so fun. Yes, I was pink for a couple of days, but it was worth it.
It was mostly fun in retrospect. It was kind of miserable at the time.
Miserable. It was absolutely miserable. I mean, the Christmas parade is a big parade that raises money for children's healthcare, and it's one of their big fundraisers. And it raises money for the Children's Cancer Center, and so we're always happy to support. But going forward, we threw out those robes, and our new Christmas dance robes are all made of just fleece. It doesn't bleed. In fact, it doesn't hold water. Like it's like a raincoat. It's really something.
Good times. But see, all of this we've learned, all of this collection of knowledge, on how to build robes and how to dye. We've all learned from this, and all of the tips and all of our knowledge can be passed down. So that's why we've got it on greatjawahorde.com and learn from our mistakes.
Do not
think,
dye red.
I was going to say there's a lot of lessons that aren't there, and I guess one lesson that comes to mind, Jen, if you want a bus, the two things I would say to you is, first of all, you can let your husband know that the bus is actually a lot cheaper than a lot of the costumes. I mean, if you're thinking about doing something like a Vader or one of the, like a Chewbacca, one of the big costumes, the bus is actually cheaper, so it's a bargain costume for what you get. But also, I think after I said to Greg, as Greg mentioned, we dyed all the monk's cloth, and to do that, we daisy chained actually a second washer to our washing machine and dryer so that I could dye, rinse, dry all in one time. If you tell your husband you want him to daisy chain a new washer in, he'll be happy to let you just get a bus.
I love it. Greg
So
really
funny.
is husband of the decade. He really is.
Don't oversell it, Chrissy. So Shane, what kind of, we do a lot for children's healthcare here, and Stephen raises money for the Dragoncon charity, which again this year is Big Brothers and Big Sisters. Are there charities in Ireland that you guys support particularly?
Well, yeah, we would work with many charities here in Ireland, and we are happy to support any and all of them, and we're always looking for charities to come forward to us to see, listen, can we help you with your fundraising activities? This is what we love doing, this is what we want to do, and we will continue to do that. One of the big ones that we would support would be the Irish Cancer Society. We have done a lot of work with those. We've done, and also they have a Relay for Life, a 24-hour walk. There's one of those in Wexford. We've done that for the last few years. And again, thank you, COVID. We haven't been able to for this year or last, but we will get back and we will do that again. We have autism charities here in Ireland that we do. Our first troop in 15 months was 2 weeks ago. And we got to help a small charity here in Ireland, and it's called Zach Rocks Fund, for a little guy by the name of Zach, who is going through a bad time at the moment, and he's doing the best he can. And we're here. We were able to attend his fundraising event and hopefully bring a little bit of cash to the family so they can help for his medical expenses, travel expenses for the family up and down to the hospital when he's in Dublin, etc. So these are the type of things we love doing. Literally, we're always looking for charities. We've done the Irish, pet charities. So when there's stray dogs or cats, whatever, that we're able to help fundraise for them as well. So we don't say no to anybody. We always want to help anyone, and we encourage everyone to get in contact with ourselves, as I'm sure is the case with all garrisons throughout the world.
What about Golden Gate, Jen? You guys?
Some of the big ones that we support is Relay for Life. Let's see. We also do Make-A-Wish. And depending on which squad you're in, there's local charities there. One of my favorite that we support is the George Marks Children's House, which is a pediatric palliative care facility. So that is personally my favorite organization / charity that we troop at and support.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I think that's amazing. And you mentioned Make-A-Wish. Obviously, the 501st has an endowment with Make-A-Wish. I think that supported the expansion of the Make-A-Wish programs to international. Stephen, that's who you raised money for last year, I think, isn't it, for Make-A-Wish?
Yeah, I believe it is.
Yeah, and because there wasn't a Dragoncon charity last year. And so you played people last year you played to support Make-A-Wish, and you played people online. Do you talk about how people could play online? If people wanted to play the Chess Jawa online, what would they do?
So yeah, I'm available online to play. I play on chess.com. My username is chess_Jawa. I'm online on chess.com basically every day. And by basically every day, I mean actually every day. So I'm also available to play on Lichess. My username there is just Chess Jawa, no underscore. I'm not exactly sure why there's a difference, but there is. And I'm on there less often. I'm still on there frequently enough, but I don't really play the correspondence games. If you want to play correspondence chess against me, go to chess.com. But if you want to play just like a short game, then do that. You can also email me at chessjawa@gmail.com if you want to play, and we can figure something out. I have accounts on basically every chess website because I play a lot of chess.
And you've got your own website too, don't you, Stephen?
Yes, there's a lot of information on chessjawa.com about, information for the coming Dragoncon, previous Dragoncon. It contains links to news articles as well as all of the Twitter information. It has donation information. There's a lot of information there, and it will also has instructions for how you can play me online should you want to do that.
Very cool. Very cool.
Even if you don't play chess, you can still donate.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yep. I would say that probably the vast majority of the donations that you get are from people that don't actually play chess. Is that correct? People that are just watching you play.
Yeah, it's hard for me to say because I can't when people donate in person, I can see that there are people putting money in, but especially with the costume, I think the new mask does allow me to wear my glasses in the costume, but historically, I have at least one sheet of black fabric in front of my face and I'm not wearing my glasses. So I can vaguely see the board. I can vaguely see the people that I'm playing against. But past that, I've had people come up and be like, "Oh, I played against you. Do you recognize me?" And the answer is, "I'm sorry, I don't. I can't see your face well enough. Even if you're sitting directly across the board from me." But there's a higher chance that I'll remember the game than unfortunately.
Well, I think the first couple of years you played, you'd lost a couple of games, and I think we realized that because you had black pieces and white pieces, you couldn't actually see the black pieces at all. So you were having to just remember where the black pieces were.
Yeah.
Which is a great exercise, but we got him silver pieces, so he's much more competitive. Pretty funny. Anyway, so Greg, the Sandcrawler is scheduled, I believe, to be in the Dragoncon parade this year. And I asked Brandy when this panel was going to air, whether it would air before or after the parade, and what she said was that it would air at 4 p.m. So I actually don't have any idea what day this is supposed to air. But after the Dragoncon parade, what are the next opportunities for people to see the Sandcrawler?
Well, I understand where the Christmas parade is not going to happen this year. So I would anticipate St. Patrick's Day parade. Now there may be instead of the Christmas parade, I think they're having something at Colony Square in Atlanta, and maybe there's an opportunity for us to set up the Sandcrawler there. I would hope so, because I'd love to have her on display. Taking out Sandy, of course, is not something we do on the spur of the moment. We do have to have a crew of 6, and it takes a couple of hours, so it's not trivial. Oh, but then there's Boo at the Zoo, right, Cressy? Are we going to do Boo at the Zoo?
Right, of course. Y'all are all welcome every year. Yes. So Boo at the Zoo is at Zoo Atlanta, but I'm sure other garrisons have their own zoo event. But it's a favorite holiday tradition in Atlanta. We set up the Sandcrawler, and then we have 501st characters throughout the day. It's a great one to troop because you get a dedicated green room, and we've got a schedule throughout the day as the characters come in and out, and the kids and family love it. And if you've done Boo at the Zoo, you know that the Star Wars costumes are the most popular costumes that all the kids are wearing. And of course, they want photos with Jawas and their characters. So, yeah, really popular event. And of course, Sandy is always welcome. I think we've had
one of my favorite photos from the previous troops is all the Jawas on the zoo train.
Yeah.
They were very cute.
Absolutely. And it's a great place for photos. Like if you're looking for some backdrops in our Scaly Slimy, our reptile house, there's some really cool like sand formation. So it almost looks like an indoor Tatooine. So it's great for Jawa pictures. Just a little tip there for folks who have a kit and want pictures.
Excellent.
And even if you don't have a kit, you can get pictures with Jawas there, because we tend to hang out. We tend to hang out in that building. It's cool.
It is air conditioned. It is nice. It's air conditioned, but sand around. It's awesome.
That's right. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. So, when are the next? What do you have up for trooping next time, Jen? Are you back to trooping a little bit?
Yes. We've the last month or so we've had an in-person here, in-person there. My first troop was actually Wednesday, and I wasn't in costume. I was a handler, but it was a retirement ceremony from the Air Force for a member of ours. But the next time I personally will be in costume will be for Relay for Life Marin in September 18th.
Okay.
That'll be my first time in costume since COVID happened.
And that's for anybody watching from the Bay Area.
Yep. So come on out and see members of the Golden Gate Garrison and Endor Base Rebel Legion.
Awesome. And what about you guys, Shane? Do you have any plans for this fall?
At the moment, now we've had the one troop. I believe there is one more troop scheduled in my hometown of Drogheda, believe it or not. It's near the end of August. Okay. That's the only one that we have. But as our country is only starting to come out now, we're kind of hoping that as the days and weeks go on, the events are going to start filling up and we'll get to know more. But at the moment, we've just had the one with one more in the books, and fingers crossed we'll have plenty more between now and the end of the year.
And for people that are interested in, going to events where you guys might be, the Ireland Garrison has a public Facebook or public website? We have
a 501 ST, so 501st.ie. We also have it's the usual 501st Ireland on Instagram, 501st Ireland on Twitter, and you'll also find us on Facebook as well.
Cool, very cool. And I think from the Georgia Garrison, we have much the same things. It's GA501st.com and also on Instagram and Twitter and so forth. And we will, we share that stuff. And what about Jen? You guys have a place where you post publicly troops or events in California?
It's look up Golden Gate Garrison on social media. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Our website is 501stggg.com.
GGG for Golden Gate Garrison.
Yep.
I am so clever. And for everybody that's watching this in Dragoncon, I hope you're having a great weekend. I know that Brandy is planning a few events where you'll be able to meet members of the 501st and Rebel Legion and the Mandalorian Mercs and maybe even Saber Guild. We are working on a Saber Guild temple here. Jawas can be approved in Saber Guild if you want to be a lightsaber wielding, combat ready, Saber Guild Jawa. We're working on that here in Atlanta. So check the Dragoncon schedule, which I know is in the app, and you can find when you can meet us in person. Obviously, you can play chess with the Jawa in the Starbucks, in front of the Starbucks in the Marriott lobby. Say that again, in the Marriott lobby, in front of the Starbucks. You can find the Chess Jawa, and if this is before the parade, do look for us in the parade. I don't believe that this year at Dragoncon there are fan tables, so the opportunities actually to connect with 501st may be a little bit less, maybe a little bit more difficult to find us, but definitely we'll be hanging around the Star Wars track room, and we can help you, learn about the Legion and find out about costumes. So I think that's my plug. Let's just go around and everybody can close with their favorite Jawa moment and a quick Utini. Greg, you want to start?
Favorite Jawa moment. Gosh, my most memorable thing about the Sandcrawler was really frantically trying to paint this thing in the last few days before Dragoncon with 5 gallons of brown paint and rollers with 10-foot handles trying to get to the top of a 13.5-foot tall vehicle. It was quite the drippy mess, but it made for a great show. So Utini.
Utini, yeah, I think drippy mess is one way to describe us.
Man, that first Dragoncon parade where we're just praying, we're like, is it gonna fit under the red lights?
Is it going to fit under the red lights? Is it going to tip over nose first? Is it going to get a bit of wind and fall sideways? If we got through the parade without killing anybody, it was a win.
Yeah, I suppose the funny conversation that y'all never hear is the conversation with the insurance company as we tried to get the insurance coverage for the Sandcrawler. Cressy, share a closing Jawa story or moment.
Oh my goodness, I
a
have
moment of joy.
I have too many, but I think one of my favorites is I love doing Boo at the Zoo, and I love we're Jawas and we're handing out candy, but we're also stealing candy from the kids as well. So that's always fun. And trading candy. Yeah, you want the good stuff? Yes, give us the chocolate. Yeah. You keep the sweet tarts and the Tootsie Rolls. Well, the Jawas will take your chocolate. Yeah, so we always have a great time wherever we go and just hanging out together. And I've made so many friends in the process. So it's just a win-win. And I'm just so grateful for Peggy and the Horde and everyone who dreamed of this idea. And it came true. And we're still going strong.
Awesome. That is so awesome. Yeah, we do trade. Stephen, a last Jawa Utini moment?
So, I mean, I guess my favorite moments are always kind of the end of the day moments after playing chess and seeing, how many games that I've played and how much I've raised. Because I think I have trooped in the Jawa like once, outside of just playing chess at Dragoncon. So I don't really have any trooping moments really, but I mean, I think last year, or like if I had to choose a specific one, last year virtually in one day I played like 200 games, And, you know, it was really exciting for me, at least, to be able to, you know, get out of the costume at the end of the day and, you know, look at how many games I'd played and seeing that I'd, you know, played so many games. And, you know, virtually it's different, of course, but I've never been able to play nearly that many in person. But that's always exciting for me.
Very cool. Very cool. Shane?
I think, as Chrissy said, there's been it's hard to pick a favorite because when you're in your Jawa, you just have so much fun. I would guess if I was asked that probably the one where there was the group of us together. It was at a Comic-Con Ireland, I think it was, and literally there was this video done where we went up to one of these food stalls and there was people. I may have been the Jawa that was trying to steal the cash register. I can neither confirm nor deny it though. But we literally 5 or 6 of us just attacked this, and it was all caught on film, which was just priceless. We still laugh at it. It was brilliant fun. But I can't pick one, but of them all, that's one that comes to me.
It's a good thing you all look alike, isn't it?
Yeah.
Here in the Horde, since we did all the kits together and they were all dyed together and they were all interchangeable, we really truly all look alike. You can kind of tell by height sometimes, but it makes it gives you a great deal of deniability. Just saying.
That's it. You can neither confirm nor deny.
Jen.
I'd have to say my favorite one was Silicon Valley Comic Con 2017. I'd just been approved, and it was myself, another adult Jawa, and 2 of our cadet Jawas. We ended up raiding the Mando Mercs table of anything that wasn't bolted down. And you know, we're all running around with parts and things, and they're just standing there like, what just happened? You know, because myself and the other adult Jawa, we're about 5 feet tall, and then you've got, you know, 2 little baby Jawas running around too. So it was pretty hilarious.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I hope now that if you do it today, you can yell Suga, Suga. Suga, Suga.
Suga.
There we go. Suga. I've got the egg back.
There's a lovely Suga behind Peggy.
That's right. I was going to say, I think it's, here we go. All right. And I think with this, I think with that we've,
the end.
The end. That's right. I think we're at time. And it's been a lot of fun. Again, if anybody's got any questions, you can reach out to us. Find us at Dragoncon if you're there. Find us at thegreatjawahorde.com and play chess with the Jawa. Take care, everybody.
Dragoncon.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye all.
Bye.